You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Hi everyone, welcome to Potluck Food Talks, the show where we chaotically talk about food without a single direction or purpose. My name is Eric. I'm here with Phil Walter, straight from Dubai City. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. My back hurts. I'm burned out. But we're still here.
Yeah. Were you cooking last night? What were you doing?
I was cooking. We were cooking service. Friday night service in Dubai is a lot of fun. We did almost 700 covers yesterday. 700 covers in an a la carte restaurant is great. Yesterday there was a moment I haven't seen for a long time. There was a moment where the person on the pass, you know, when you look in somebody's face and they just have this like 1,000-yard stare. You know, you have 3 rows of tickets, like brick, brick, brick. The ticket machine next to you printing. It's like hanging on the floor, literally, right? The ticket machine is like over here, like above your head, and the tickets are hanging onto the floor. You see the person just like staring. There's food everywhere on the pass, right? That needs to go out, and there's sort of like, and you're like, oh no, it's happening. No, but like I get it, you know.
Give me my friend back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I get it, you know. It's fucking when you lose it, getting it back, like getting your grip back is fucking hard. And the same thing happened to the guys on the meat section. 3 chefs working on the meat side grill. And like at some point I go over there and because they're getting backed up and I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like literally, people watch The Bear and they're like, haha, yeah, it's really funny. But it's like, there are moments like this where I just looked at it and I looked at it. The ticket machine keeps going and there's no more space for the tickets to go onto the board, right? And I just look at them. I look at all the tickets that are away, like all the main courses that are away. I start counting the meat that is like cooking on the grill. And I just look at the guy. I'm sort of like, you're completely fucking lost, aren't you? You have no fucking idea what's going on anymore. And he just looks at me also just kind of like, like he's just been through the trenches in World War I. And he's like just shaking. And I'm like, fire everything, just fucking fire everything. And he starts going like, okay, I need, he like goes to the fish section. He's like, I need 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck your 5 minutes. Just fucking give me the food. Just make it happen, you know? And yeah, and like you get to a point where it's kind of like, you can't cook how you normally want to cook anymore. You can't like sear the meat, rest the meat, you know? Like he sears the meat, he puts it up. And I'm sort of like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm resting the meat. I'm like, how long is it going to be? He's like, it's going to be 12 minutes. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. Give me the fucking meat. Like, and he's like, but it's not ready. I'm like, make it happen. Just make it happen. I don't care how you do it. Just fucking make it happen. And you find ways to make it happen, you know? And you have 2 hours of that and then everything's fine. You have a beer and you cry a little bit and then you move on with your life.
Yeah, I've been there. I remember hearing the ticket machine at nights, like and waking, you know, like cold sweating.
It's horrible. It used to be bad for me, like, and now like I've noticed like these days I've become like kind of numb to it. You start getting into like a headspace where you don't let yourself get overwhelmed anymore.
Yeah, you have to detach, you know, like to understand that you have to just do one thing at a time and, you know, execute this out, and next. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, like it's impossible to do it otherwise. Like, you know, like I think that mind control skill, it's key for a super, you know, like difficult service to pull it off.
Have you ever listened to the podcast from Jocko Willink? You know this person, Jocko Willink? He's like what would you call him? He's like an ex-Navy SEAL. He's got like a company where he helps businesses.
I think you've talked about this guy before. I think you mentioned that this is a guy that if you're like, because I've thought about that after you said it. Like if you're like, I don't know, like scrolling down while you're having breakfast or like doing too many things, like first thing in the morning, like you know, like reading emails and scrolling down and eating and drinking and planning the day at the same time, that this is like neurologically super unhealthy for your brain, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a different person, but it's similar. That's Andrew Huberman, also very, very cool. Jocko Willink, he's like he wrote a book called Extreme Ownership about like leadership and how to manage people and how to move through difficult situations and stuff like that. And he has a couple of things that are very, very interesting that I like really related to. And one is prioritize and execute. He's like, in any situation, you have a difficult task ahead of you that you don't know how to do, you prioritize and you execute. And you just like work it off, bam, 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 you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I do in a kitchen, in like a difficult service, you know? Like now I'm kind of like, I mean, as easy as said than done also, it gets to a point where it's really hard. The ticket machine goes, I'm sort of like, okay, I can't look at those tickets right now, you know? Like I got to prioritize and I got to execute. And that's what these guys aren't doing, you know? And I told the guy afterwards, I had a debrief with them after service. And I was like, well, what happened? And he's like, yeah, you know, there was a lot of straight fires and I couldn't get ahead. I couldn't get myself prepped. I couldn't get like all my meat going. I just got lost. And I was like, yeah, it's totally understandable. It was a lot, you know, it was a fucking lot. But I was like, in these moments, you don't have the luxury to be sort of like, a ticket comes in, meh, 2 lamb, right? And you look at the ticket and you're like, okay, 2 lamb, you leave it there. You tell your guy like, hey, can you get me this? You turn around, you do this. In the meantime, 3 more tickets have come in. And you look at them, you're like, okay, 2 tenderloin, 1 sirloin, 1 ribeye, blah, okay. So 2 tenderloin, 2 lamb, 1 sirloin, 1 ribeye, okay, blah. If you don't fucking act in that moment, you're gonna get overwhelmed. You have to have a monkey mind. It's like, the ticket comes in, 2 lamb. You stop what you're doing, you take the 2 lamb out of the fridge, you put them somewhere, right? Put them there. Put the ticket on the pass. Then fucking organize. The next ticket comes on, you have to stop. 3 ribeye. Take out the 3 ribeye. At some point, you're not going to remember. You got to get it fucking going. You get it searing, like this is an example of a grill. You get it out, you get it salted, you get it searing. And then like once it's brown, you can like rest it. And then you can play with the things, but you need to get it going. The worst thing is that you forget that, you lose it, and then it's fired, and suddenly you have a ticket away. That's like 3 lamb, 2 tenderloin, 1 ribeye, and you don't have it cooked. You have to start it from 0. You're fucking dead. It's gonna take 20 minutes for that to get ready. So this table is gonna wait 20 minutes. That table is gonna delay all the other tables also. And the chances are that if you missed 1 table, you missed a couple of others. And then those are away as well. Plus you're getting straight fires. You're done, right? So like it's a very crazy skill to have to like prepare yourself so that when it's away, and I mean, this is super stressful, you know, right? But once it's away, you're like, okay, just fire, and you just like churn it out.
Yeah, and also like depends on the restaurant and the service and how it works. But I remember also like taking for a second a step back, consolidating the whole mess that you have. Like, okay, here are in total 12 lamps and 14 whatever, and boom, and then you throw the 12 lamps together, which are like 7 different tables. You know, like, and you have to do it like that, otherwise you're dead. You know, like.
Yeah, absolutely. If you do 1 ticket by itself after another, like everything's going to get backed up. But the funny thing is also then if you do too much, you're also going to get backed up because then you're actually not being productive because you're doing too much at the same time. Everything comes to the pass. The pass is like, what the fuck do I do with 20 lamb?
Yeah,
and
the waiters, everyone.
Exactly. Nobody can run the food.
Yeah.
So it's like this really fine line of sort of like,
Yeah.
okay, being efficient. And yeah, I mean, that's like, I really felt sorry for the guys yesterday. And also for the person at the pass because but like I was looking at it and I was kind of like I was like, hey, do you need some help? And she was like, man, I'm fucking lost. I'm so lost. And I was like, okay. And I was kind of like, well, I could either like jump in, but I don't want to do that like also to this person because it would be a little bit of like a, you know, this kind of like, okay, step off the expo. I was kind of like, no, let her work through it. She's gonna be fine, you know. Let her get her grip back and be fine. And also, yeah, these like 2 guys, I felt sorry for them. But hey, we've all been there. We've all been there many times.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I was there last time, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, I think. I had a service, I just went down, fucking down.
No, and I remember, dude, like one of the most difficult skills, I think, is when you're in a restaurant where all the tables, all the tickets are verbal. You know, like chef says, one this, we chef, blah 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 blah, we chef, 3 chickens, 2 risottos, 2 soups, one that, and you have to have everything in your mind. I mean, I remember taking notes at some point, taking a pen and writing down what he just said, because you have to remember everything. Otherwise, you have to walk to the past where all the tickets were back then, and when we were in Margot, for example. And if you do that too much, the chef is going to get angry. Like if you're walking too much to read the tickets at the front, because you're just basically saying you don't know what's going on.
I mean, it's a difference, like I also get angry when like I see people like coming to the pass and just staring at the tickets and being sort of like open mouthed and like I'm like, what is happening? Are you okay? But if they're like, like going there and being sort of like, okay, here, and you can see them like, calculating, it's like, it's totally fine. Now Hoffman, used to be just like unnecessarily shit about stuff that was like completely normal,
But I remember, in that place was where I developed the most that skill of having a mind map of the tables that are coming in, like knowing, okay, like now I have having 6 tables in my mind and knowing, okay, now we have this and that, and I can put three tables together. Is this skills like a blind chess player or like a taxi driver in London, like this guy said.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's a lost skill, because you have Google Maps and this and that. But back in the days, these taxi drivers in London, they would know the whole city, all the streets, everything, and it was something that I think it was even required to get the taxi license.
Yes.
Yeah, that these guys would remember all the directions. I think that those kinds of things, yeah, definitely are getting lost among many, many, many other mental skills we're losing daily, more and more and more. Even now more than ever with AI and all these chats and things.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Yeah, that you don't need to think, like yeah, you ask ChatGPT what's on table 4, and it will tell you. And and if it does know, it will make it up, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's a good thing. I mean, the good thing about Margot is that all the menus were the same. You either had normal menu or vegetarian menu. And there was like no deviation. In an a la carte restaurant, it's fucked, And like
that's
in
crazy.
an a la carte restaurant where people eat like 4 or 5 courses, right? So they would like make a whole tasting menu themselves, basically. There, I think it's impossible to keep it if you're so busy. If you're a small restaurant, you do like 100 covers a night, I mean, for me, like nowadays, that's small. It's even not small. But like, then that's okay. But you do like 300 covers, 400 covers, forget about it. You need a ticket.
I recently found like a spot I like in a pincho bar in San Sebastian that I like very much. And suddenly there is this spot where you walk in and you're just in front of the pass, and this is restaurant where there's a small window. So you can look into the kitchen that I never saw. It's like a sweet spot, and you can actually see how they're throwing steaks to the grill and everything. And it's like, oh, nice, I never knew. And also is the pass manager, which is from the service side, and is a person who is running the service, basically calling the tickets, organizing the tables, and giving them to the waiters. Like it's a restaurant where it's someone from the front of the house that runs the pass, and not someone in the kitchen. And I was there ordering some stuff, and at some point I said, can I have the check, please? But I saw she was like dealing with 50 things at the same time. She said yes. And then, okay, this goes to table 4, this here, this that, this is, this, da, da, da. Okay, and give me and we're going with table 6, and then she stepped for a second like, the bill for you, okay, and turn around. Like it wasn't her to-do list, and she was just check, and there was something else somewhere, right? And all
That's
mental,
awesome.
no notes, Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a real good skill to have, That's a really, really good skill.
Have you eaten somewhere recently?
Yeah, don't go to eat, man. I'm just fucking working, and then like I'm so destroyed the next day that I just like I sleep in. I go to the pool, I go to the sauna, and I just like I'm dead. I need a whole day to recover. But you know where I went the other day, and I was so surprised at how good it was. Tai Fung. You know Tai Fung?
No.
So Tai Fung, originally from Taiwan, is a chain restaurant that does soup dumplings most famously, but they do all sorts of other stuff also. Interestingly, one of the most successful chain restaurants in the United States. You know, not that I care about the United States too much, but it's a reference. They have some here in Dubai, and like you see them everywhere. You know, you see them in like Hong Kong airport, and they're everywhere. They're huge franchise. And I went about a month ago. You go in, it's super like organized. The front of house are like super like an Asian chain restaurant would be, right? Super straight, bam, there's a system for everything. You know, you get shown to your table, you get this little like you get a menu, and then you get a little board where you have to cross how much of which dish you want. So all the dishes are listed there. It's a big fucking menu. They have obviously the dumplings, it's the main thing, but they also have rice dishes, they have vegetable stir fries, they have soups, all sorts of stuff. We went and we ordered like soup dumplings, but I also really felt like a soup because I was feeling a little bit ill. So I ordered like a beef tendon soup, Taiwanese beef tendon soup. I ordered some mapo tofu. I ordered some Chinese greens, like sauteed greens. Like, the food came in about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Bam, on the table, steaming hot, and everything spot on delicious. Like, couldn't fault it. Super nice. And I was like, man, I love going to restaurants like this because not only is it cheap, not only is it mega efficient, it's also fucking tasty, you know, and consistent. And I'm kind of like, man, this sort of thing fascinates me just as much as like a cocina de autor, you know, where from like a business perspective, I'm sort of like, how are they doing this? This is amazing. Because if you worked in a restaurant, you know how difficult it is to stay consistent and blah and this and that, you know, and you can be good like all the time, you know, like you can be good most of the time. You definitely have deviations, you know, and these guys, they're operating in the entire fucking world, and it's just like one thing, and I think it's amazing.
I've always been a friend of little menus. It has always impressed me. You know, these Chinese restaurants that have these booklets of 1,000 recipes, and that's a menu. You know, it's a menu where you have like sections, you know, complete sections. And yeah, I want the 243 and the 434. Those two, please. And they come right away. You know, like have you seen this stand-up comedian that is saying like?
I was just thinking about that, man. I was just thinking about that.
How was it? What was the guy saying again? Like,
he's like, man, like chefs used to be so badass, you know, and now they're just like these like skinny tattooed guys in the kitchen. They're like, yes, chef, right away, chef.
So
I need 12
sitting
minutes,
on top of the foie gras.
Yeah, and he's like, and what are they making? Like truffle French fries, you know, like some bullshit. Meanwhile, in a Chinese kitchen, there's like one chef. There's 300 dishes on the menu. It's somebody's uncle from Hong Kong, and he just makes the dishes in under 5 minutes.
It's not even a chef. It's someone's uncle
with a cigarette in his mouth.
That's so true. Have you been to, at least I remember in Venezuela, these crappy Chinese places, which I love. And I would go always to get this stir-fried rices. When you look into the kitchen, it's literally, you know, there's someone's uncle with a cigarette in the mouth, you know.
It's so true. It's also like, I think this wok cooking is fucking amazing. I kind of want to look into it a little bit more. The other day, because it's like this a la minute cooking, and it's so swift and it's so fast and it's so skillful also, you know. The other day I came across a video. I love watching these cooking videos from Japan, you know, where it's like no commentary. Sometimes there's like subtitles of what's happening. There's all sorts of stuff. Katsu restaurants, ramen restaurants, blah, blah, blah. There was one restaurant in some small town that I didn't know. And it was a fairly old chef, right? And apparently it's a very famous Chinese restaurant. And he was cooking Chinese food so uniquely and so skillfully. You know, the way he was making fried rice, he made his own like seasoning mixes where he had like a shio koji liquid, he had like a shoyu koji liquid that he would season. He would make things like white mapo tofu. White mapo tofu, I've never seen that before. He would like stir, like à la minute, stir frying the meat, adding the tofu. He was making his slurry, his cornstarch slurry mix, thickening it, blah. It's like glazing prawns with like a slick of cornstarch, sort of like slurry to poach them so that they're like really shiny. Amazing cooking, like super high level and so swift out of like shooting from the hip. And I was watching this and I was like, man, what the fuck? You know, like sometimes you see these things. You know, the other day I was like giving somebody shit. And I told him, I was sort of like, you think you can bullshit me? I have almost 20 years of experience in this fucking job and you think you can bullshit me? And I realized, I was like, man, fuck, I've been doing this job for almost 20 years. That's fucked up. And like you see a video like that and I'm like, man, I don't know anything about cooking. Like, I don't know shit about cooking. Like what I know is so limited. There's so many people out there in like all the fucking corners of the world that are doing something that I have no idea about, and that's incredible.
Have you heard of Javier Wong? That's like an OG of Chinese Peruvian cuisine. I think it has this romantic vibe because it's like a restaurant that really feels like a tasca, you know, like a Latin American restaurant in the city center of Lima, you know, like with unpretentious wood tables, you know, and just in the corner, the kitchen is literally, you know, like the size of a small table, and it's a one-man show. It was only he in the kitchen, and he had only two tools: a wok and a bowl. And the wok, he would do woks basically. It's also pretty cool. His logo is like with this golf caps, you know, and his Chinese like silhouette and a cigarette in the mouth, you know, like that. That's the logo of Javier Wong. So he would do these woks, which are like, you know, chifa, which is like Peruvian Chinese. So I would say it's even more Latin American than Asian, because it's like first of all, because it's in Latin America. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like Italian American, you know, at the end of the day, it's more American than Italian. Well, it's the same thing with Chinese Peruvian. And in the bowl, he would do ceviches. So he would only do woks and ceviches, and that's what you get in that restaurant. He has a super cool book. It's called Best Ceviche in the World. Yeah, and he would go to, you know, the Madrid Fusion and all these international conferences. You know, he became really like a rock star with his super tiny restaurant. I have this romantic idea of running a place like that, you know, like just going there, doing two things, but doing them just, you know, making them hits so that people go back just for that. I mean, it's like Bordaberry in San Sebastian, you know, like it's a restaurant, a place, a bar that has only 12 items. That's it. But I think maybe there's a veggie dish. There's usually like a veggie dish that is just like beans and mushrooms and something like that, which is fine. But everything, all of the others, they're all bangers, you know, like they're all top dishes that I go back every time to get them, you know.
I absolutely also love places like, I love Bordaberry. Javier Wong is such a fucking legend. He doesn't give a fuck, you know, he just like does exactly what he wants. And I think there should be more places like that don't worry too much about concept and style and anything like that, you know. It's like everybody nowadays is sort of like, oh, you know, if somebody told you, hey, I'm gonna open a Chinese Peruvian place, I'm gonna make wok dishes and ceviche, you know, if you're an unknown chef, they're probably gonna tell you that sounds like a very strange idea. Nobody's gonna understand that. Man, fuck that. Like just do. If you have the expertise and you have a vision and you have the skill, like just fucking do it and make it good, and hopefully it'll work out.
That's it for this week's episode of Potluck Food Talks. If you like what we're doing, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok as Potluck Food Talks. The show airs every Monday.